Good evening. This is the Policy Review Committee meeting on November the 7th. Our first policy we will be discussing will be Code 903.
Bucky, can we start? Do you mind us starting with the housekeeping ones? We have two policies, 001 and 005, which are basically housekeeping items and updating policies based upon just some things I found just from reviewing them. And can I start with 001 with you?
Rob, you're allowed to do that. Yes. Thank you. I'm still trying to get my...
The easy ones. The other ones may take a little longer.
Okay. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah. Okay, 001, if you take a look at the bottom of 001 under address, it still has our old district address there. You want to change that to, obviously, 501 Chestnut Street, Birdsboro.
Oh, okay.
Told you that was an easy one.
You want to give me that address again? You know I drive here every other week.
Yeah, 501 Chestnut Street, Birdsboro, PA.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you. Is that all we have to do on that one?
Yep, move that one. And just for our new board member, what happens is we discuss policies here. It'll either be through state code, and I'll bring it forward because of that. PAS does sometimes recommends that certain policies be changed. Our attorney recommends sometimes policy be changed. As a board member, you can also bring forward a policy that you would like addressed. Policy really is the backbone of the school district. We make jokes sometimes about it's not always the most entertaining committee, but it's also very important because this is what we look at, administrators look at, and board members in terms of the running of the district itself.
It's very important. But no one wants to be on this committee.
When policy, what happens, policy goes from this in the Cal meeting, Bucky tonight will go over the policies that we discussed here in the meeting. Then it'll go on it has to go through 2 readings under Robert's rules, is my understanding. And so the board gets to see it twice, and the public can comment on it for 2 different board meetings, and then it's voted upon by the whole board. So that's kind of how it works. You'll see, you'll get the hang of it once you guys go through those. Okay, policy 005. Keeping item, and if you go under where it says board committees, we should add the technology committee. For some reason that is not on there. Pick that up. Those are standing committees.
All right, what are we changing, Rob?
If you go to, and it's on page 3 of policy 005, under board committees, about halfway down page 3.
I see 4.
Where it lists the committees.
Look for board committees. You see that?
Where it lists
In bold.
That's page, okay. Page 2, right?
3 on here, but
Well, I see board committees on page 2 of mine.
and then
Okay.
curriculum and instruction finance.
So, yeah, that is under curriculum, instruction, finance, facilities, policy. And then we need to add technology, extracurriculars and ad hoc committee in theory, so that doesn't need to be added.
Okay.
That just reflects our current structure as a board, and that can change depending on the board's desires over the years. That gets up to date. Again, another housekeeping item, pretty non-controversial.
Rob, one more time. I got it now. It only took me 5 minutes.
Just add technology under there.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
You don't have to do anything, Rob. Fine. Okay.
Okay, the next one, policy 903. This policy here is being brought forward to make sure that current work practice aligns with policy, and it's about public participation in board meetings. This policy is here and is at the recommendation of our solicitor. Several things need to be changed. It had to do with the case law that came about last spring, and it changed the way and what was allowed and not allowed in public comments. And if you notice in this particular document that's here, you can see the parts that our attorney struck out of the old policy, and the parts that are underlined for the new policy. And the essence of it is it's encouraging the public to address the board president, but it's not requiring it. It also further clarifies what's allowed and not allowed. And again, this all has to do with a court case that occurred. I think it was Westmoreland, Brett. Was it Westmoreland? I think it was Westmoreland.
Pensbury, what was it?
Was it Pensbury?
Yeah.
So you can see the recommended changes that are in the policy itself. That is our current practice since last spring, because Brian asked us to change that right away. That's late spring.
All right, we're going to go to 903 then, Rob?
We don't, policy 003 should be struck, as I spoke to you earlier about.
Yep. 003 is struck.
All right, and then our last one is policy 904, public attendance at school events. And if you open that up, you can see in the boldface which was added, things like tobacco products were added, some wording there. Some of this wording was PASBO recommended. If you go down to all the way, it looks like page 3, under free admittance. Previously, we had, and I believe we said that Mr. Gordon wanted us, we were going to come take a look at this, see if it helped. Previously, we had decided on an extracurricular with the board approval to admit high school students for free to events to try to encourage students to come. So I'm reporting back to the board where under free admittance and recommending that we continue that practice based on student attendance. I pulled the data last week on that. We had ended up with about, at our football games, about 500 students in attendance for each of the games approximately.
Wow.
Which definitely increased it significantly over 2021, 2022. Now, some of that's probably COVID related, but I doubt all that's COVID related.
Right.
So I think the intended purpose was accomplished in terms of getting the students more involved. And it certainly wasn't our best year of all time. And we still had attendance like that from the students. Julie, it looks like you were going to add something there.
Oh, I was just going to say that as the chairman of the joint committee, I just reported to Brett this morning that the take at the concession stand was the highest I've seen in the last 5 years that I've been running the concession stand, which is probably, some years we don't have 5 games, we've had 4, we've had rain down, so we actually had 5 games, so it's not exactly an apples to apples comparison, but that was the most I've seen in all the years that I've done this. So I would assume that at least some of it has to do with the fact that the kids are getting in for free and that the attendance is up.
And if you'd like, I'd be happy to share with the committee. I'll send it over to the spreadsheet, and you can go back and you can see our data all the way back to we started tracking this So that one. All the way back to 15, 16, we have data. So
Wow.
it's not always exactly tracked the same way, but it's not always apples to apples. As you correctly pointed out, sometimes we have more home football games, sometimes less. And it also adds another sports attendance too, which is actually an interesting metric to track. So I'll be happy to shoot that out to everyone tomorrow sometime.
Thank you.
But for the purposes of policy, I wanted, we talked about revisiting that. It did have its desired effect, so I would suggest we continue free admittance for students. As well, board members were always included in that, and as well as we decided last time that our teachers would be admitted to it because we want them to come out and support our students also. The goal was to increase attendance. So I would keep under free admittance, so I would have all three of those groups.
Does that fall under the district? Like, where do the kids fall under when I'm looking at this free admittance? Do they fall under district personnel?
We created, when that happened, we created our own category of that. So we decided, when we did extracurricular, we were trying to look at ways to get more kids out to the games because it was getting rather
Right,
slow.
but I mean, I don't see it listed here. Does it need to be listed?
No, it doesn't. We can add that to. We can
Oh,
add
okay.
that. That's a great question.
Did we go over, we didn't go over senior citizens yet, right? Does that need to be filled in?
That's up to you guys. I think right now we have, I think it's a discounted rate. They get the same rate as the students. Well, like a middle school student, for example, if they come, then they will get the same rate as a student rate that will come in. So that's.
Do the middle school students have to pay?
Middle school students do have to pay.
How much do they pay?
It was just high school kids, yes.
How much do the middle school
I
kids
think we
pay?
should,
They're advertising. I thought there was an email that went out that everybody gets it free.
It was
Football games, they did just this year, I thought.
not middle school. I don't think it was middle school.
How much do they
That's
pay,
really
Ray?
My
confusing.
son's in middle school.
$6.
Yeah, this year he's like.
I think it's $6. I think it's $6.
I would have sworn it was advertised at all students.
Yeah, just this football season was free, I know that. I don't know.
But that was the high school, right? I thought it was everybody.
It was all kids.
The middle school students, I think, there was a cutoff of the age where they had to have a
Parent?
adult with them, yes.
Oh, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Bus load of middle school students getting dropped.
Fourth graders getting dropped off.
Free babysitter tonight. Wait, I can drop my.
We have to go back to that other, where is the tobacco product, fourth grade? All right, we can revisit it. Are we putting an age on this? Or is there something understood?
For
I don't know, it says senior citizens who are district residents and are blank years of age. Is that supposed to be filled in by us tonight, or?
that, yes, we will continue with our same process unless you guys want to change that.
Okay,
So do we
What
say
is the age?
65?
Yeah, that's what I would say,
Yeah,
65.
right.
Yeah.
75.
75.
We want every dollar. I was thinking 80. 65? Okay. The poor lady has to sit there and look at the ID.
I don't think it is.
Look back up at them, look back down. No, I think you're still 64. You're going to pay. All right. All right, then. Okay. I guess we're good.
And that should be it.
Sounds good. All right, that concludes tonight.
Question on
Oh, good.
Sure.
the use of school facilities. Did we talk about maybe, like $350 for an auditorium for the day? It's pretty cheap.
The answer to your question, we can certainly raise the prices.
I think we talked about that before, but did we come up with a final answer?
Like I like I'm renting the community center for Friendsgiving, and for 2 hours I got it for $400. Or no, maybe I got it for 4 hours for $400 for the gym.
I thought some of those numbers were definitely low.
Definitely.
Should we?
We can discuss it right now if you want, we can, because that's still first reading. So we can still-
Hold on, it's over here.
Well, you said you guys are losing money because you pay for janitor, right?
Well, we're trying, and Jay's actually doing a pretty good job trying to clean some of that stuff up for us, in regards to. It is, there are times where these don't do what they should be doing, and it gets problematic, for the business itself, so.
Before we take an arbitrary increase, should we be
Maybe we gotta go to like the Boyertown
I
and
mean, I
stuff.
pay that much money to have.
What?
I think we should charge whatever Bucky's Country Club.
That's
charges.
right.
Yes.
What's the going rate?
$1,500.
Well, there you
That just gets you in the
I
ballroom.
mean,
Everything else is a la
like
carte.
the dance studio runs the auditorium, right? And they charge entrance to the parents to get in. I mean, I know it's also to cover all the. I
How
don't know.
about for the next policy meeting, I will research, I'll take some time, we'll research what the other districts are charging. That way you guys have some more data points to work from. And so I think everyone wants to be.
I don't think there has to be a lot of schools. We just
No, just
pick
a
a couple nearby. Yeah.
I mean, $350, I pay that much for a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese, right? If you're having,
I like how you're thinking. This is good.
no, I just thought that was really cheap, so it runs an auditorium
Oh, I thought those numbers were,
for a whole day. Like,
and like you said, in some of these cases, you're paying for a janitor or somebody to be here, and it probably wipes that right out.
Well, those, if you see the policy, those fees in that chart don't include additional personnel are required, such as custodians for cleanup or maintenance workers or to run technology or those sort of things. That indicates right at the bottom of that chart
oh, so there's
on
additional
page
fees
3 and
charged.
4.
We still raise the rate.
Well, I mean, I'm getting mixed signals. Before we were told that, like, that it was.
I thought it was included.
That, well, it was costing the school to rent the facilities out.
Well, it will because of utilities.
So if it's putting the
Yes,
school in the red, we
utilities.
should at least, like, balance it.
And Rob, I'm not mentioning any names because I couldn't even tell you who they were, but there was that, you had a situation not too long ago where, wasn't it something this year that they got a pretty good deal? Let's put it that way. Am I wrong?
I knew the deals were pretty good for them.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
So we'll put it that way. But I think the wise course of action here is let's reach out to some neighboring school districts and see what they're charging. And so we don't want to be highest or, you know what I mean? And
Right.
see what they're charging so that we can be fair in regards to that. So.
Yeah,
I don't want to give away all our secrets, but when we do staff hourly, do we kind of bump that rate a little bit? If somebody was making $2 an hour, are we charging down here $4 an hour? You know what I mean? Like, are we covering our, just a, we don't-
We're definitely not recovering the staff hours.
okay, well then we should talk about that next time.
All right, so for the next meeting, I'll bring that to the board, okay, and the other districts use and bring that forward, okay?
All right, we're gonna discuss that at the board level next time?
We'll bring it to policy then, and bring it to the board.
That night, okay?
Yes.
Rob, can I just ask a question real quick about a different policy? If we're done with that one? Under the controlled substance paraphernalia,
Good.
I think I asked this before, but I can't remember. So I just wanted to get clarification for myself again. Under off-campus activities, it says policy shall also apply to student conduct that occurs off school property or during non-school hours to the same extent as provided in the board policy on student discipline. What is that?
I think the way to put it, it has to cross when you talk about, all right, I have to look at the actual policy you're referring to, but I can speak generally. When off-campus activity occurs, a student does something, and I'll make it a simple example. That's really easy, but there's obviously much more gray areas when you're dealing with this. Let's say a kid is smoking, okay, and they're smoking, and they're in Birdsboro on the street, okay, and that, unless it rolls into, like, there's a nexus between the school, it's disruptive to the school, we can't discipline for that particular policy. So if two kids get in a fight, for example, on First Street, we can't suspend those kids for that. Now, if two kids get in a fight at a football game, that's one of
Is she
our
bringing
events,
agendas?
Sure. We can do that, and so it has to cross into the school.
Oh, she usually prints one out for me.
Print one out? What is the point?
Well, because I just,
Which one do you want?
I wouldn't mind having the policy review one today. You want that? I guess I can live off the other one.
So I
No,
think
it's fine, because we're not voting, so that's fine.
when
I
we
just-
were
If I just have
looking
that,
at this before, that just jogged my memory.
Is she coming?
The example
No, she's on
was
vacation this week.
two kids getting into a fight on First Street. You can't really do anything about that. It's not school property, it's not school function, it's just two kids getting into a fight on First Street. But if that fight gets carried into the school the next day, you can then take that previous action into consideration, or?
If it got into the school, then what we're looking for, like if it rolls into the school, like it could get into like a bull, depending on what happened, it could be a bullying situation.
Right.
Like if there was a fight and then that one kid's getting picked on by that other kid, that could play into it. It has to really roll in and be disruptive to the school environment for us to have to discipline, for us to be able to discipline.
Okay.
we done?
Yep.
Everybody?
By the way, hey Russ, and just for board informational purposes, because actually I think it's an interesting topic. One of the things, if we hear about an event, one of the things our principals do, if they hear about something that occurred in town, even if it doesn't cross that nexus, it's still good practice. We call the parents, let them know, hey, we got wind of this. It's not a school issue, but we make parents aware that if it involves like counseling and supports that we need to do,
Okay.
we get involved, and we still try to support. We're talking about like pure student discipline, suspensions, expulsions, things of that nature.
Okay. Thanks, Ron.
Good question.
Okay. That concludes our policy review committee meeting, November 7th. Thank you.